My friends, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. I posted on Twitter, which if you haven't done so already, please follow me there. Colin_Gladman. I reached out and said we just finished up our voice chat in the Discord. So each day, myself and Bronx, we jump in the Discord voice chat after hours and talk about just all the different charts that we think look good, what's the best setups, that kind of stuff. So as we were doing that, going through all the normal charts that we normally go through, I was like, oh, you know what? I've been meaning to check on this one. And I thought it was just a fantastic setup. So I want to be clear about a couple of things. And I told you guys on Twitter, I said 500 likes and I'll post a chart that I think is beautiful. I think this one needs a little bit more explanation here. So that's why I decided to jump in and do this video. I also want to be clear that, guys, that when I ask you for likes to do a video or to post a chart or anything like that, number one, I don't do it all the time. But number two, like, I'll be honest, like, I don't need Twitter. I really don't. Like, the only anybody who actually knows me in real life, not fantasy land, like, this is me. I put my picture up there. I put my name up there. I'm not one of these nameless fake people online with just banging away on their keyboard when they're really just total pieces of trash human beings in real life. Like, the only reason that I do this, anybody who knows me in real life knows I don't post on here for the money or anything like that. Like, I don't need it. I post and I put out my work, like this free video on YouTube, because I genuinely want to help you the way that I was helped. I would not be where I'm at in life if it wasn't for other people coaching me, mentoring me, helping me, and I believe in paying that forward. So I really don't think it's too much to ask for, 500 likes for whatever it takes, my amount of time to post this stuff and to give you out for free. I also know that, like, my trading community Discord, it's expensive. It's not for everyone. So the people who it doesn't make sense to pay for my private trading group, I'm totally okay with that. Like, don't join that either. I don't care. I want to post stuff that helps you out, and I ignore a lot of the shit that gets talked to me on Twitter, and I just want to help. Like, that's it. I just want to help you out. So I hope this video is helpful to you. If it is, please like and subscribe. The more traction this kind of stuff gets, the more likely I am to do it in the future. That's how it works. All right. Having said that, let's jump into the video. So the chart that I want to talk about is Gorilla Technology Group. Let me start with the disclaimer of, I'll be honest, I really don't know jack crap about this company. I don't trade based off of fundamentals of a company. The only time I care about the fundamentals of a company is if it's something that I'm potentially looking at becoming a long-term hold. But I want to tell you what I really like about this chart, and I genuinely think that this has over 100% potential upside still left in it. So, first thing I did was obviously turn to the interweb and AI, and I asked Grok what does Gorilla Technology Group do? And the answer is Gorilla Technology Group specializes in AI-based industrial Internet of Things, which that sounds kind of stupid, to be honest. Solutions with a focus on security, convergence, video analytics, and big data. All those sectors and items are hot right now, guys. The video intelligence, they provide solutions for smart retail, enterprise surveillance, city security, and broadcast media utilizing edge AI. Basically, as I read through this, all I keep seeing is AI, 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 AI. Obviously, that is still a very hot sector. So this company, since back over here in 2022, has just been in an overall daily downtrend. You can see, typically you always want a minimum of at least 3 points of contact when trying to find a valid trend line. So here was IPO, then back over here in March of 2023. And I kind of remember this being sort of like a squeeze name that everybody talks about and then fades away. And here's where I think things change. Where I think things change is this volume cluster that is down here. So you see, anytime it's kind of squeezed up, you've had these insane, huge volume spikes. And those could be just spikes, I'll be honest. I don't. You never know exactly where. I mean, that's not retail. Let's be clear. But it could be institutions that were just taking a stab on it. Then maybe an earnings report they didn't hear what they liked, so on and so forth. But there's no doubt about it. Let me just back out to the weekly chart so you can see. There's no doubt about it. This weekly downtrend has changed and volume is coming. So you can see these volume spikes that just happen like on a weekly basis. You are getting consistent weekly volume spikes. Now, we go back to the daily. Once again, you can see all these spikes of volume that is coming in. You see a nice volume as it's getting pushed up. Then you had your buying climax. Then as it consolidated and dropped back down, that volume dries out. Now volume is starting to come in on this next push up. I love the way, so you got its golden cross back here in December of 2024. I love the way these moving averages are still widening, right? So if that's what I tell my team all the time, that's how you know there's a very good chance that this price is going to continue upwards overall. Is there going to be red days? Yes. Do I know if they might drop dilution tomorrow? No. So that's the risk that you take. But when you buy these cheaper companies, that is the risk that you're always having to take. If they're a growing company, they might have to raise cash. And if you're a long-term believer in the company, who cares? If you're not a long-term believer and you're just doing swing trading on it, yeah, that sucks. But it's part of it. It's part of the risk. And at the end of the day, when you are in the market is, does my risk match up to my reward? Do I believe that there is more reward potential here than I believe that there is risk potential? And in my opinion on this chart, there absolutely is. When you see these moving averages widening, you can kind of just see this path will continue widening here, and this one kind of coming out like this. So when your 50 and your 200 day continue to widen, that means you're typically going to see nice price movement overall. Now, I will tell you right now that I think the safest way to trade names like this is through shares. Ever since, everything happened with, GameStop and AMC and everything like that, it's just everybody's all about options, options, options. And I post a lot of big option wins and trades. Hell, I mean, it's pinned on my profile. I'm very proud of that option trade. But shares pay, guys. I've done it with Hood. I'm up almost 100% on my Hood shares. I've done it with LTBR. I'm up 60% on those currently. I've done it with Oklo. I'm up 140% on those. I've done it with ASTS, with Tempest, with BBAI right now. So I think the safest way to play this type of trade is with shares. And it's still cheap enough. I know that lots of people, like a big complaint that I get when I talk about wheeling, they're like, well, Colin, I can't wheel Tesla. Yeah, I don't have that kind of money. And that's fine. These cheaper stocks are all stocks that have potential really hot sectors. They may not be hot sectors for forever. They're probably not going to be. But I don't think there's any question that AI, security, all that kind of stuff is hot right now. So it's worth taking the shot at. And move your stop however you need to. Like, just be a responsible human being. It's really not that difficult. So if this trade doesn't turn out to be amazing, if it's not LTBR, where I told you about it at 9, and now it's up here at 14, if it turns out to not be so amazing, then it is what it is. I'm going to move on. Part of trading is having losses. But just like this, so, just think about what I just went over with you, right? Here it is on that daily. The volume, the dry out of volume as it's consolidating, which is exactly what you want to see in retesting those lows. Now it's starting to push back up. LTBR, very similar. Oklo, very similar. Every single time as it built out this creek on this reaccumulation, as it built out this creek here, the volume completely dried up. And this is what I would expect from something like from Gorilla. You're going to have those red days. You're going to have the pullbacks and everything along those lines. But the overall trend, same thing. Look at that 50 and the 200. The overall trend is intact. And that's what matters. Looking at this chart like any other chart, once again, love this volume cluster that came in down here. Like I said, that's not you and me, to be clear. And I just want to make it clear in this video, I don't have a position yet. I literally pulled it up at the end of our Discord voice chat and was like, dude, this is a fantastic setup. It's very similar to Peloton, right? This is the one that I went over with you guys. I'm still in shares. I've been in shares since like $6. You had this falling wedge. You had the breakout. You had the ascending triangle, push higher, falling wedge into earnings, breaking out. Peloton still looks fantastic. Another one I can think of off the top of my head, Visco, Victoria's Secret. I hadn't even looked at this chart in a while. Still looks fantastic. I know I talked about this one at 34. Yeah, you're getting a pullback here right now, but this is overall a very controlled selling pullback. I still love the looks of this chart. The reality is it might come back here towards its 200 and then kind of build all of this move out down here. And that's fine. That's why when you sit in shares, I have no position here, but when you sit in shares, it's just an easy ride, right? You don't have to worry about as much anyway from a dilution standpoint. So sorry, let me get back to this. If you gap above, especially these previous highs, if you gap above, watch any pullback retest. Any pullback retest that gets bought up and that gap gets defended, this thing's going up. I really think on a daily basis, so when I look at it on a daily basis, I really don't put too much of a timetable on it, but I really think on a daily basis, probably somewhere in the next month or two, this thing can easily move up to this one extension of 74. Let's say we're half wrong and we only get to 50. That's still a 100% move. And that's where you just, want to be responsible, moving up your stops. But this consistent volume that is coming here and this lack of volume down here at the very lows just shows that this is overall kind of a spring setup into an accumulation. Hood is just the ultimate example of this. It's up at 64 now. Oh no. Did I take my picture off? Dang it, I took my picture off of the Wyckoff thing. I must have deleted that off. But anyway, so think of Gorilla right now is kind of like at this move down here, where like Hood was down here in the $10 range, right? Starting to get out of here, breaking out of here, and then it's just going to make a series of those highs and those lows. Obviously, when the market, like this was back over here when everybody was freaking out about the carry trade fiasco and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to have those big pullbacks, but if you're chilling in shares, you like the company, just be along for the ride. Like I said, my only regret with Hood is I didn't buy in sooner. Palantir was another one, right? Broke out of this long-term downtrend. And what happened once it broke out of this long-term? Let's just say you bought the retest on this downtrend. Don't you wish you bought Palantir right around $9? Now, is every stock going to turn into the next Palantir? No. Let's say you get half that. Right? Like they're great setups. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you. You guys know the deal, not financial advice. I have zero position, but I am looking to I trimmed my Lightbridge position today. Before close, I had 300 shares total of it. In my small account, I trimmed 100 shares of it, and I pretty much freed those up to grab Gorilla when I think it's time. Let's see here. Bonus points for ASTS. I think potentially here's your bonus call of the day. Very similar. It's falling wedge, swept the lows, bounced off the 200-day. Very similar look to kind of what Lightbridge did right here. Full disclosure, I have a position in ASTS. So, but I also think that's a great looking setup. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You get some type of gap up day. I mean, this thing could run to 35, 40 relatively quickly. Yeah. So anyway, hope this video has helped. Much love. Do what's best for you, yourself, your family, and your portfolio. Take profits. Don't listen to the internet. Have a wonderful evening. Much love.